Good morning, guys. I wanted to check in with you to just show you some updates that are happening around for 3D printing stuff. So let's go ahead and check what's on the printers. First up, I did one of these like arching nameplates. I just wanted to see if you guys might have any ideas though, because this first slot, I even have it on a bamboo roll now. I'll hit play here. It'll go through, take it in. But then it'll get just a little bit started and then all of a sudden just stop, saying like that it couldn't extrude the filament, and it's really slow. If I run it in any other 3 spots, it runs fine, like doesn't stop at all or nothing. You can see there it just kind of got hung up on nothing, so sometimes I'll like move the roll for it to actually get all the filament, but I'm just not sure if it's, worn out gears or something. I was looking on the bamboo parts store to see if I could just buy kind of like just this little unit to replace, but I couldn't find it, or just like the little unit here. See, it's slowing down, so sometimes I'll roll it like this. It'll go ahead and start again. Get so far and then it'll just stop, saying like it couldn't extrude the filament, but it's on a bamboo roll, so I'm not sure. But anyway, that's what's happening with that. 221, last time we spoke, it was having an issue with the micro SD card. All of that is fixed. Ooh, let's see what we printed. If I can do it with one hand. Oh yeah, this is so much easier. It's one of those fidget cubes. I have to play with it a little bit to show you guys, but oh yeah, here it goes. So yeah, it folds like that, and it's supposed to, once I mess around with it more, it'll be a little bit looser, and it'll actually like fall down and stuff. So I'm looking to kind of expand the fidget selection at our craft shows, and I think this one would be really cool. Plus it's bigger, so when I'm printing bigger things and I need like taller objects, or if there's going to be more waste, I think this will help to kind of counter all the waste or purging stuff. So yeah, this was a really cool print that I found and went through and printed out, so just to test. Here's another one that I did last night, but as you can see, it's way too strong to even move. So this was the snug version, and then this was the loose one here, like where it can actually, move and stuff. So pretty cool. And then I used a tricolor filament, so like when you go around, it's blue on one side, pink on the other, gold. So I think it came out super cool. And oddly enough, the last few layers it ran out of filament, so, but I think it blends in pretty well too. I'll take the strip off, so we're good for the next print. Next up is, what do we got? So yesterday I had one of these before. I took it to a festival and security confiscated it, saying they didn't allow like face masks or things. So yesterday I reprinted one of these, 0.16, and I wanted to do it in white. I think everything came out really good, like the teeth and all. I just got to remove the supports. I added holes up here, so then that way I could order like a face mask elastic thing. So that should be coming today or tomorrow or another day. I did it in white because I wanted to actually paint it. The last one that I did it in like the red and blue, and then I did the teeth in glow in the dark. It came out really cool. Only thing that was a con about it was the teeth kind of showed up at night, and it looked like a mustache more than a face mask. So I'm hoping once I go through, remove the supports from this, it will fit my face, which it did at last time at 100%. Guys, and these support settings that I got are amazing. Like, you just saw how easy these trees remove. Like, look at that. Look at how clean that is. So my support settings, if you guys are curious, I'm doing the biggest thing with the supports is that it's 0.28 distance from the top Z. So then that way, you know, once it's going through and doing like its support, yeah, it does, you know, not leave it the smoothest on the inside. But again, that's the inside, you know, where you put your face. So since I'm going to paint it, I could always smooth it out like with a Dremel or something like that. But I really don't think it's going to be that big of a deal either. Break some of these whole pieces. Again, a little bit difficult with one hand. Let's see if I can get the tooth here and this side. I mean, come on, one-handed support removal. Is that even a thing? Oh, and there we go. This printer's trying to reload the filament again. Oh, gotta remove the line. Yep, and it sounds like it went all the way back in. So, yeah, I'm not sure. It's not looking like it's getting hung up on anything. So it's working though. I just have to keep constantly checking it. This is all good. Just got to remove this little piece here. Ooh, yeah, let's see what it looks like. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, looks super cool. Bottom half face mask. You can still talk through it, all that stuff, breathe very well. This is from Nico Industries if you're interested. So he's got a bunch of cool stuff. Honestly, about his subscription, I really like it. Sometimes it's just difficult because he's posting so much sporadic stuff, like so much different stuff at once. Like helmets, characters, little figurine things, and if you're trying to kind of build out an inventory and figure out like what works, sometimes that can be very difficult because like with Cinderwing, she just does dragons and things. So she's very niched. But like with, you know, Nico, there's so many different variety of products. But again, this is super cool. I saw recently that there's like, you know, more helmets and things like that. So I've been wanting to potentially get into that more. I think we could kind of add a higher market priced items to our craft booth, and I think, you know, these will do it, especially if we sold them like this where they're completely white, or where people had the ability to buy it and then paint it themselves. So I was thinking of leaving the teeth white, maybe just doing like a primer on them of white and then masking off like the teeth and everything, and then doing like a red. And so I actually wanted to try to paint this. This would be like the first model that I've painted, and you can see too, like the holes came out pretty well. So just wait for that head strap to come in and we'll see how it does. Some updates in here. I did get the CR10 printing really well. Green printer, haven't gotten anything printed to it yet. I'm just trying to figure out what. And my yellow printer, I got my Kayak cup holders printing right now. I got green TPU in there. I had to go through and dry it. I also had to do a temperature tower check, and then I also had to do a retraction test. Some of the things I was doing yesterday weren't looking the best, so I went through, figured out which temperature works well, and went through and left my retraction settings on that. CR10, as you can see, a little bit of stringing up top, but overall very, very manageable. Looks very good compared to what it was. I don't know if I still have one of my old retraction tests from the CR10, but I want to get something big on this going. So let me know if you have any ideas in the comments below. I have talked to some other vendors about dice towers. I've heard they're kind of a hit or miss depending on your show that you're at and the clientele, so I'm not too sure if I want to do that. I've seen like wine bottle holders, but the only thing is like this is a single color printer right now, so you know it would just turn out single color. So maybe a tricolor would look cool. I have red in there. I already have a Deadpool helmet. I was thinking of doing another one that would actually fit me because the one that I have right now doesn't. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think, and maybe we'll get to printing. And then with the green one, still haven't decided on a board yet. Just been a little bit busy. We had a craft show recently, and I'll give you guys some more info on that. It was pretty crazy. So I haven't gotten anything printed on it yet. The last thing was a big rose dragon. Fit the whole bed, came out really good. And yeah, so I just need to get something printing on it basically. And then, you know, like I was just saying with the green one, it's coming out really good for TPU. I think what I'm going to do is just try to dedicate this printer to just printing these TPU parts for the kayak cup holders. There's a bunch of different colors like blue, the green that's printing, red and black and yellow even. So I think if I can get like this printer going here, you know, all I got to do is swap out like the little gear here to similar one like this one. And I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good. And then that way I can have like green and black going or whatever, the two colors. Just try to use this whole spool of filament constantly. So maybe I'll get, I don't know, 8 or 10 cup holders from that spool. If you've seen my cup holders before, I did thicken up this wall a lot. Some of these TPUs kind of had like different hardnesses. The black TPU that I was using was very firm on the edges. So I bumped this wall from 2 millimeters to 5 millimeters, and it's doing 30% infill and 3 walls. So it should be pretty strong. And I think with that thickness, it's not really gonna flex like it was before. So that'll be better. And it's just going along, doing its thing. And the heat break was definitely worth the upgrade because this was another printer that also clogged. Even though it's not a mechanical error, it's more of a user error, just not pushing that Bowden tube all the way down. But at least it's working now. So, and it's reliable. I mean, I was able to get this printer up and going and no issues. Only thing that I'm having an issue with is the Z offset. And I don't know why with Clipper sometimes. And it could be, again, just user error. I can't find it if it is, but long story short, I went through to probe calibrate, started to print, it was too close. Then did probe calibrate again, and again, it was too close. So I just went through here in the tune settings and manually adjusted the Z offset to 0.425. This is perfect. It works. And as long as I keep printing with that and I don't save it, it will be fine. If I save it, I'll have to go again and actually raise it. So I checked my N G code. There's no like Z offset clear. I've checked my Clipper configuration. I'm not seeing any type of G offset, you know, clear or anything like that. So I'm not sure where the issue is, but that works for now. If you have anything in the comments you want me to try, I'll give it a shot, let you know what the outcome is, and hopefully it'll fix it. But so far, I mean, you know, it's a decent little machine. I know a lot of people are putting them to rest, collecting dust, like I got these ones down here. But I think the thing was with the Enders is if you can just get them super reliable and have a good amount of them to be able to print things simultaneously, they're really good. They can do it. You just have to know the little quirks about it. So I think that's probably the biggest thing about them. But if you see them on Facebook and you're wanting to tinker, give it a shot because they're pretty cheap now. But I would highly suggest this, the heat break, or just upgrade the nozzle or the whole hot end. Do the dual gear. I would do the dual 50-15 fans or even the 40-10 fans. Those are plenty. I would do the Kevin aka Sam mod for sure, and you know, just let it rip. So I wouldn't try to like speed it up or anything like that. It's not really worth it because the bed slinger and the belts, you know, I just think it's not really made for that compared to this one where the head can move super fast, the bed just moves down, and it just works so much better. So big plans eventually is to actually convert the CR10 to the Ender 3 NG style, like Core XY. There have been some people that have done it with this overall Ender 3 NG mod, but there isn't like official documentation or actual like official, material guide or instructions. I mean, the outline is kind of the same, right? Like the bars and things like that. But I just don't have enough time to have a completely tinkering workshop, everything, and still, run smoothly. So an actual idea, though, that we had was to move my workshop from out here to in the closet. And I know it's messy and whatnot. I was, brainstorming, but basically take this shelf out and figure out what to do with the stuff. And then, put like this would be like a 2 foot by 4 foot. This isn't the opening. So maybe I could even do like 5 foot and just try to figure out like what to do like with the openings on each side, and then just hang lights, and then basically move like my workbench from out there in the kitchen to in here, so then that way, one, it's a little bit more contained and out of the way. Also, free that back up, because when we had parties and stuff and just using it, as an open space, it's pretty nice. When we're coming in with groceries, having friends over, and we were serving food, and having a whole bunch of tools and stuff out there, just always seem like we're in workshop mode. So it'd be kind of nice to clean that up. So let me know what you guys think about this too. Like I said, hanging lights, pegboard with all the tools. I could clear all this stuff up here, so then that way we can, have more bigger stuff. So, yeah. So, let me see if there's anything else, but I think that's probably it for now. So for now, on the printing updates, that is it. For the craft show, though, don't run away just yet. I wanted to go through and just kind of give you guys some updates, what happened with our last craft show. It was down in Brownstown, Michigan. It was about 40 minutes or so from us. And we prepared, took the tent, the tables, all of our stands, all of our inventory and whatnot. The setup was really well. The stakes that we're using are super nice. They're like the 10-inch ones. They're in the camping section at Walmart. We just got enough to basically hold our tent down, and they are super nice compared to the ones that they gave us when we originally bought it. So I would recommend those stakes. Overall, the show was pretty good. It was a little bit slow in the beginning. I think that was because the walk-in time for parking lot, processing people, finally making their way in, and then kind of like mingling around, definitely adds time. So some of the bigger shows, like when it starts and it's like a huge show or people have to walk a far way, sometimes the first hour is really slow. And I've kind of noticed that with a few shows. There's been other shows where like they've been pretty big and the first hour is a little bit more crazy. So I think it just depends on like more of the processing time, how many people are getting people in. So, but overall we did really good. We sold a good amount of stuff, I would say. We ended up getting rained out by 11 in the morning. There's a pretty big random sporadic rain shower. It rained for probably 15 to 20 minutes, just like straight pouring, cats and dogs. And we didn't have anybody on the one side of us. So we did spread out a little bit more, but the thing is we did have tarps that I laid on the two sides. On the one side, we had a tarp on the very back, kind of like a backdrop, so that helped. And then, after that, we had people like standing in our booth, checking out our stuff, waiting for the rain to stop. It eventually stopped, like after the 15 minutes or so. It's just pretty hard to have it raining or downpouring like that, and then for all your stuff to just be like getting soaked and whatnot, your stands to just be like full of water. I know there's a bunch of other crafters where their stuff actually broke and whatnot, and this isn't any bad talk about like the promoters or nothing. They can't control the weather, obviously. So I'm just glad none of our stuff broke, none of our tents flew over, none of our tables broke. Most that happened is like our products got wet, which was completely fine. Some of our stands that are wooden got wet, which is fine because they're painted. So, we ended up drying them out. We dried out our tent. The printer was out there in the rain for like not even a minute. and it got like a few droplets on it and it was still printing. I ended up unplugging it and moved it to the very back of our craft booth. After it stopped raining, I finally put it back on, and then I would say around 2-ish o'clock again, it just started downpouring, absolutely downpouring, even harder this time. So I ended up putting a tarp in front of our entrance for our booth, because that was the way like the wind was blowing and that the rain was coming, and that helped out so much. Whole time the printer was running, I just didn't have time to like really stop it. There wasn't really any reason to stop it either. We did have people in our booth that were actually buying stuff while it was downpouring, and also while it was raining, we did have other people running back to our booth to buy more stuff. So even though it was raining, we did make money, and people did come back to actually buy like the things that they wanted. During that period where it like rained and then stopped for a bit, we did do pretty well. We had a good amount of traffic. I think it was like a consistent flow of people. So the biggest thing is just trying to get people into your booth and just trying to engage with them, so then that way they can kind of figure out your stuff. I've noticed a lot of people can read signs sometimes. It just does, like, it takes like a second for them to process, and if you're not really out there like engaging with the customers, if you're not trying to show them like what you're selling, it can be difficult for them to kind of pick it up right away. I think the most interesting things are, like we'll run into people where even like they have a family member that 3D prints, or we've even sold to people who 3D print. And I think it's definitely interesting with those conversations, because sometimes they always initially will say like, oh, well, so-and-so can print this or that. And then they kind of get more intrigued by seeing other things that we have, and it just clicks and they want it. So, which is super cool. So I don't think there's like a specific way to really, sell those people. I think just trying to be personable and approachable, and just having like good stuff that actually they want, and just looks cool and is unique. I think that's more of the thing that kind of sets you out than just the standard thing. So a little tidbit there. And yeah, overall, I mean, it was really good. We ended up packing up an hour early, like with all the rain. It probably rained that second time for more of like a half an hour, and it was just pouring cats and dogs the whole time. So it made it really hard for a lot of other vendors that had like a full setup, or like with glasses and things, or fragile material that they were selling. So a lot of people ended up just packing up early and took off. So, but I think that was like the first annual festival that they were having. Overall, it was really good. I felt like it was managed pretty well. We had a really good spot. When I'm thinking of good spots, food is a really good place to be, because people are standing there looking around, and if you can engage with those people that are just standing there waiting, sometimes you can get sales. Another thing too is like if you can make friends with the food vendors, and you can get like your stuff kind of like up on their counter, or even have your business cards up there, or even have them be like, they're over there. That helps a lot. So making friends at the craft show is a really big thing. Another thing too I found is kind of weird, but being like by the porta potties. So they had like a giant subset of porta potties, probably like 30 of them, that were on like the other side of our booth. So like here's our front, and then like 30 feet in front, or 50 feet or whatever, I'm sure further than that, there was like a whole row of porta potties, and people have to walk way across the festival to the porta potties. And people also were using it as like a meetup spot, oddly enough. So people would come and meet there and then see our booth, or they would be walking by to go to the porta potties, see like some cool stuff that we had, and then head on over and check out all of our stuff. So not that we requested to be by the porta potties or by the food, but I've just noticed like it's helped, rather than just being like in the middle of the crowd with all the other vendors. So another thing that I've kind of noticed too is like so many booths have white tents. Sometimes having like a tent that kind of sticks out a little bit might help. I know sometimes too some vendors or events, they want you to have like a white only tent. So I do understand that requirement. We haven't been to a show where that's required. So our tent typically stands out being, like a baby blue. But yeah, so we're just learning things, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't, and trying to just get a little bit better every single time. So just trying to find new things that sell, trying to engage with people differently, seeing how the conversations flow and what things they're interested into, and just different things that can engage with them. So but yeah, we ended up leaving an hour early, like I was saying, with the event. It was good. We would go again. And yeah, I think that's probably it for today with just the updates and whatnot. Thank you again for subscribing. All the subscribers I've seen, we're up to like 380 almost now. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Stick around for some more updates with the printers. There will be more, as time progresses and whatnot. I'm only working on stuff here and there, and I'm trying to just dedicate more time to be able to kind of knock things out, like projects and whatnot. I also have to get that eagle wired up, so maybe we'll see that in the next video. And I also want to get like that mask painted, so that'll be really cool too once it's all done, and that'll also be my first time painting something. So I've been considering an airbrush kit, but I'm not completely sure if I want to do that just yet. I don't really have like the full space. I just got the garage cleaned yesterday with my wife. Thank you so much. That was a huge job. So, but I think overall we're just constantly working on things, trying to get things done and in order, and it's only benefiting things more, so we can kind of focus more on like getting a process down, because I think that's the biggest thing too, is figuring out what works and how to make it work the most efficient way. So, for example, like having an organizer for your tables, when you unload and things just have their spots and whatnot. So, but that's going to be it for today. I will catch you guys in the next one, and thank you again, and peace.